One of the great things about this time of year is that there's so much growing in the garden that our meals come more and more from the garden and less from the grocery store. Today I thought I'd show you what I'm harvesting for a vegetable soup that, except for some salt, will come entirely from the garden. Let's start by harvesting some potatoes. In April, we planted several 7-gallon bags of Purple Viking and all blue potatoes. We've been harvesting them as needed for meals over the last several weeks, and this is our last bag of Purple Vikings. Fortunately, we haven't even started harvesting the potatoes that we planted in the ground. We planted a few seed potatoes in each bag, so this bag should give us enough potatoes for our soup. Let's see what we get. Okay, there's our harvest of Purple Viking potatoes. That'll be more than enough for our soup. Now let's move on to the first of our garden beds, where I'll harvest kale, perpetual spinach, and if I'm lucky, I'll find some ripe tomatoes. We have so many greens in the garden that we try to include them in most meals, and both perpetual spinach and kale make a great addition to soups. After a cool, wet spring and early summer, we didn't have any ripe cherry tomatoes until late July, which is a few weeks later than usual. Let's see if we can find any ripe tomatoes in this bed today. Okay, these are Gardener's Delights. I don't think I'm going to find a ripe one here. No, they're not quite ready. And these are Sweet Millions. They're a little closer, but they're not quite ripe either. And the black cherries are also not quite ripe. We're going to have to find our tomatoes elsewhere. Now let's move on to this bed, where I'll harvest zucchini and tomatoes. I've already checked, we do have some ripe tomatoes here. The zucchini plant behind me is huge and healthy and has been cranking out zucchini for the past several weeks. Let's see if we find one today. Oh, this one's perfect. That'll be just fine. Now to search for some ripe tomatoes. Here's a whole bunch of Sweet 100s ready to pick. I'll pick scarlet runner beans and basil from these two beds, and I'll also add some garlic to the soup that was harvested here last month. We've only recently started to harvest scarlet runner beans, and they're pretty sparse. I think next year I'll plant them more densely to increase yields. And now for just a little bit of basil. Working my way to the back of our garden, I can't resist stopping to pick some tree collards. We're so glad we planted these. They continue to grow and produce like crazy, long after most of our Georgia collards have gone to seed. Our vegetable soup wouldn't be complete without carrots. We usually plant small varieties because of the limited sun in our garden. I expect to find some Parisian carrots here and some short and sweet carrots. Let's see what we find. Okay, that's a short and sweet. Very short and sweet. There's another one. I think that's a Parisian. And another Parisian. That's neither one. I'm not sure which one that one is. Biggest carrot of the harvest so far. And down the bed a ways, I also harvested some cosmic purple carrots. Okay, will we find cosmic purples? I'm pretty sure that's what that is. I think that's cosmic purple. And that's our carrot harvest. To finish today's harvest, I'll go out front to see if I can find an onion and some peppers. I picked 1 onion and 1 Jimmy Nardello and 2 jalapeno peppers from our front yard containers. So now it's time to make the soup. I'll just dice up the veggies, put them in a pot, cover them with water, add a little salt, and then cook them on low until they're just tender. And here's the final product. Well, there's nothing better than to sit in the garden and enjoy its bounty. As we close, I'll share other photos of recent harvests. If you'd like to see more, please visit my Facebook page. I'll include a link in the description. Well, that's all for now. Thank you very much for watching. And until next time, remember, you can change the world 1 yard at a time.